Welcome back to the Nose Plays. It's been about a week, so it's time to do another 20 turns of Endless Legend. I got a little bit of feedback on my last video, and I appreciate that as always. We are going to figure out what's going on. It looks like we got attacked. Okay, yeah, our scout we were working on over here has been spotted by these guys. Tetikes? Anyways, these are a ranged unit. They have a very short range, but they get an interesting, what is it called? Free counter. So they get a free counter attack, which is neat. It's an ability that's very powerful. You can get a trinket that gives you this through one of the legendary deeds, and it's pretty cool stuff. Or maybe it's not a legendary deed that you get the trinket for. Maybe it's a quest. I can't remember. But there's a trinket that gives you that ability. It's really powerful on certain individuals. They get it for free. So, I don't think that our one ranger is going to be able to take down two of these guys. They have 86 hit points, 64 attack, 35 defense. Yeah, they're better than us all around. And I think that's partially because we never equipped our units with better gear. So, we'll go ahead and retreat. And we'll deal with movement here in a moment. Let's take a look at our cities and see what we have going on. We just founded this city recently. And I bought out a couple of the things. So if we go to... Oh, where's it at? Up here? Nope. Not that one. Not that one. Here it is. You can see I bought out the mill foundry and the sewer system and the husbandry center. I guess we didn't buy that out. This is our main city. This is our new city. And this is the one that I bought out the mill foundry last turn. So now we're back on the right page. Okay. We do have an enemy unit roaming in our territory. We also have a couple enemy units around. Remember that this faction can see enemy units in any adjacent tiles to ones that we own, as well as in the ones that we own. So anybody moving around in our territory will know it even without watchtowers, which is really nice. It means we can kind of avoid people. I do not know how that works with the Forgotten. I'm not sure if we can detect the Forgotten that way. We might be able to, but maybe not. So we can retreat back to our territory. I think that's what we're going to do, since we can't really outrun these guys right now. And then we'll just kind of swing down this way and uncover some more of the map by staying in our territory. What do we want to build? So we have the option to build the wine extractor. We could also do the museum in 15 turns. If I move all of these guys over, that moves it down to 10 turns. That's actually a pretty reasonable amount of time to get the museum up. We would have it by turn 31, which is pretty quick. I don't know whether it's worth doing in a territory that's not going to be able to grow very great. We might hold off on putting it here. And I'm just thinking winter's a bad time to start building something like that anyways. Winter is a good time to start building the seed storage. So that's what we'll do. I'm also going to queue up the wine extractor. Because that is a very valuable one that we can get a lot of resources from. In fact, I'm going to reverse the order of those. This will only take 2 turns and we can start farming it. We may hold off for the industrial megapole and try to get our glass steel up. We need to get that income going here. Okay, what other movement do we have? We have a guy over here. We have some pearls we need to collect. Question is, do we want to meet red? Really want to meet anybody right now. We know that this guy is relatively safe because there's no enemy unit showing up. There could be some over here. This village or this village may spawn one here very quickly, so one to be careful. And we leveled up. Our hero leveled up. Vision is good, so we'll go down this tree for now. Not sure when that happened. He may have leveled up a while ago. But we'll collect the pearls and then we'll finish scouting this and kind of head back. We need to start worrying about an army. So we have army construction reduction and science boost, both of which are important. So since we took that army construction reduction, we need to definitely get a couple more military units built. Maybe even 6 total, so we have a full 6 stack here soon. The other thing that we could consider doing, if our research wasn't so god-awful slow, is grabbing one of our other military units. Right now we have access to a support unit, which is not all that great, and I believe a cavalry unit, which is okay. Grabbing pearls while we can. This region actually has a nice anomaly on it and a lot of forest, so this could actually be a really good region for us. Build a nice long stick. All those anomalies, maybe. Build a pretty good sized triangle in here too. You could go like that, something like that. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. I think I really want to expand this way more than this way, and the reason for that is I don't want to be in contact with too many of these guys at once. If one of them were to kind of move in here and kind of push the other one out, that would be better for me, because then I would only have 2 neighbors to contend with. So we'll see. Alright, just a population message. So, anything else we need to consider this turn? Yes, we are about to run out of money. So that means we're going to have to move at least one of our units over here, and probably more than one in the very near future. Him over there. Scout some more that way, and what can we construct that's going to help us out here? The sewer system might help get us up to fervent, which would help our dust situation slightly. The borough district has absolutely no access to dust whatsoever. However, building borough districts are almost always the right choice when you have the option to do so, because the more tiles you have, the more benefit a lot of your other things give you later on. It does reduce our overall approval in this particular city, but it won't do it enough to actually drop us. think we're gonna go with this tile. I want to kind of build up towards these anyways. So maybe get my triangle going like this for now. 6 turns for that. How many of these can I move over? Alright, we'll stick with this for now. And our second city, we are going to have to move everybody over here. That's still not going to be enough. Alright, that puts us at 0. Quest has failed. Okay. Somebody killed the roaming army that had the treasure. And some construction has been completed. That's good. Okay. I'm also going to queue up the sewers. We don't want to take too many turns to get this stuff done. I'm hoping winter will end soon. That will help a little bit. And then we can start working on our military. There we go. Winter is now over. Public library is something we really need to get done too, though. Alright. Is this a situation? Okay, these guys are out of movement, so we can go steal this. And as long as we get out of here quickly, we should be fine. Post and beam. There's a quest related to that, and that is 4 ranged units and 2 minor faction units. Okay. We're gonna work on that. I'm just gonna get him out of range of this guy for now. Finish scouting this region, which will give us an idea of if we want to settle it or not. Let's see. I guess it makes sense to get up here and finish scouting this territory. I don't want to use all my movement yet, just in case I uncover something that I can move towards. Alright, so there's a titanium deposit here. I still think navigating this way and kind of putting our backs against the water is the best play in terms of expansion for us. Now that winter is over, our dust is better, but I still can't really take anybody off of dust over here. Fortunate. We do need to make some more military units, but I really need science. So we're going to queue that up first, and then we'll get into the military. And then we'll have most of our core buildings built. In order to get a military up and running, we're definitely going to need more dust. And we forgot to do this again. Well, I totally goofed that turn up. So now we're 1 unit behind, and it's going to be difficult for me to get this and get away without getting attacked by that. On the plus side, losing that unit did give us more dust per turn, which means I can take somebody off of this and back on food. Over here, how are we doing? 2 turns. Okay, I can't get lower than that, so let's go with that for now. get out of the way. Let's see if we can figure out what purple's up to. Alright, we want to move back into our territory and clear out this enemy unit before it starts to become a problem. We have another opportunity to burrow. You can see this is really stifling our expansion of reasonable tiles. I think we're going to go and grab that. 9 industry is not insignificant. Alright, well, we're not in last place, but pretty close. Empire Mint in 2 turns will help our dust situation. Again, we're running out of time to get our military units crafted. Perhaps now is the time to move all of these over here and queue up 3 of our Jakari Rangers. Move that to the back of the queue. I think that's what we want to do. And then this in 4 turns, so in 2 turns we'll be able to queue up the public library, which we will definitely do. Food. Oh, let's zoom out here so I can see. So, we settled on this tile. I think I wanted to grow this way and build my triangle that direction, which means I guess that's the right play for that one. Now over here, we bought us a little bit of time. 4 turns will be good to get 1 more, and then we'll put all that population over here and get this one rolling as well. We'll probably build the 2 Minotaurs and then get them combined and search this ruin. We're gonna have to get to tier 2 technology in the research tree and grab this before we can do anything. Be the first to assimilate the Dogeshi. That would have been a little bit more useful if we hadn't already had a cavalry unit assimilated, but the reward is okay. We could retrofit, but I don't want to do that right now. In fact, what I want to do is go ahead and get this guy. Oh yeah, that's right. We're trying to take care of this army. So maybe I do want to retrofit him. Yeah, just so we don't accidentally lose another unit. That means we're definitely going to have to move people back over to Dust, but Empire Mint is on the way, and this is on the way, which means we might move back up into Fervent. So we'll see what happens. Well, we got a Dust Eclipse on the way. Alright, 2 more techs from this era, and we will move on. This is definitely a needed tech. Unfortunately, this building is really good, but not in our current situation. We have absolutely zero science production on our tiles. Like, it's just really bad. I got 1 point here. I got a couple points over here, but I'm not building over there, so... Well, there's a few points up here. Let's take a look. Disable that. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would only be worth 5 points of science to put that building down. And I goofed it. Move my unit. Well, we will take care of this unit next turn. You can see it went from -9 down to -5. That is probably due to the fact that we got up to fervent, which is good. And 2 turns until we get a population. Can I move? Yeah, we'll do that. This is going to increase the cost of our... So by moving it like this, we get 1 turn where we don't have to pay for this army's upkeep. Kind of a cheap little way to... And then we'll get this built. That's going to be built rather quickly, which is good. Queue this up here as well. I may have to move these back like that. I think that's the right play for now. Our science is going to get a little better once these buildings get constructed. We are not quite at enough to do a wine extractor, but we will be soon. And this extra dust is going to be really beneficial to us. I'm not going to fight this. This is overwhelming odds in our favor. We should not have any problem with that. Now it's just a matter of dealing with this minor faction village. Oh. We have some ended in our territory. Don't know why. But we will deal with them soon enough if they stay there. They shouldn't be in our territory. That's odd that they would come outside of their own region. I don't see that very frequently. I don't think attacking them with the 1 ranger we have, even if we do get the city garrison, is a good idea. Alright, and they're out of our territory again. So we can try and parlay with these guys. 8 titanium, that is definitely doable. We're not using our titanium for anything at the moment. And that will give us another population pip here. We can also get close to some pearls and maybe even some of these. This is the Silix territory, so they shouldn't be wandering into this region, but we'll see what happens. Alright, this might be a good time to go ahead and pop the emeralds that we have that we're not really using. That will move us back up into happy, which will help this a little bit, as well as our science. Alright, so with the harness, what is... Okay, yeah, they're the ranged unit, the orcs. Yeah, they're not great for us. We already have a very good ranged unit, probably one of the best in the game. That is a pure ranged unit. I think I'm actually going to go down this way and try and grab this, and then come back for these pearls. This is going to very quickly solve our dust issues, I hope. And we need to start considering a settler here soon. Alright, good. They went the other way. 80 dust and the pearls. And we should be able to get this, no problem. Alright, starting on our minotaurs. Let's go ahead and get this army out. And get them down here so we can meet up. For some reason I'm having trouble moving the army. Is there a reason I cannot move? Oh, there we go. I mean, that was weird, but whatever. I probably should have searched that ruin. Alright, this will be the last tech that we need before we move into the next era. Looking at our current situation, not many of these techs are looking very promising. I guess the one tech that I know we're going to need at some point is the mercenary market to buy heroes. Everything else is pretty mediocre at this point. Pillaging is something we could do if we really wanted to get in a war. These techs are pretty suboptimal most of the time unless you're going into the water. Military science is pretty mediocre in a game like this against the AI. It can be beneficial. An extra militia slot and some extra fortification can be okay. The XP per turn can also be pretty good if you're just trying to level up some defensive units, but there are better buildings down the tiers that do that just as well, so... Alright, we can get to this one. Wine. That will give us enough to pop a booster. The question is, do we pop it right now, or do we wait to pop it right before our city goes down? And I think since we have a good income of it, we're going to go ahead and pop it now. I guess we'll move up this way. Doesn't really matter, we're going to the same spot, which is up here, I believe. Alright, we almost have our army of 6. We can now build these. I want to get the glass steel one up first, since we have extra titanium at the moment. We're down to 7 turns. we could get this done by turn 40 if we queue it up right now. I'm gonna wait until that Burrow Street is done, and then we may put this in front of the extractors, since we're not in high demand for these resources yet, but we will be soon. A lot of the tier 2 buildings use those resources, so... Oh, sweet. We can get all the way to there. We got the conflux bonus, which allows us to move an amazing amount of distance, as you can see. Now the question is, do we grab this one or this one? And I think we'll go... Maybe we try to get both with our movement buff. We might be able to. We'll see what our turn looks like. I can actually get one tile closer to this pearl. So we'll try to grab the pearl, grab that, and then head back. Mercenary market in 3 turns. Dust is in a pretty good spot at the moment. I think we're turning the corner on our goofy play. We do need to get construction on a settler, though. And I need to find a good spot to settle, I guess, is the other thing. I don't want to settle up against... Wow, look at this. So purple settled over here. That's good for us. That means maybe we take this tile. Which means we need to scout it. But there's a lot of stuff going on over here. I don't really want to get involved in all that nonsense yet. We do have a enemy unit over here that we need to be aware of. Let's see if we can ID it. Well, I couldn't ID it. Empire plan is coming up. Now's maybe a good time to look at our empire plan. See what we can do. So, 2 cities down. We will be in Era 2 by then, I think. So the cost, I can't really check the cost until we hit Era 2. That'll be in 2 turns. Alright, what can this unit do? Can he get anywhere? He can. Actually, let's just group him up with the rest of these. Well, there we go. They ended again. I'm not sure why they keep wandering into my territory. We do have a fair amount of dust stockpile, which is good. We're going to need that dust to retrofit some of our units in Era 2. We're also going to have the mercenary market soon, which means we could buy a hero. Alright. Might be able to get this one as well. This one we can't get yet because it's part of a quest. 3 turns away from that, but we're several turns away from having the ability to make a 6-stack army. Alright, this is going to get done. Let's get a settler made. I can actually buy it out. I don't need to buy it out because I've got several turns before we need to settle. And I really need to scout this territory to see if that's what we want to grab. I guess the other option is we grab this region. It does have titanium. And a bunch of science, actually. And dust. Maybe this is where we go. Not a lot of food down here, though. That could be problematic, although there is a food tile here. So what if we grabbed... Yeah, this little ruin kind of ruins everything, doesn't it? So what if we grab like that and then head this direction? I kind of like the idea of settling here. Except for the fact that we get 2 food. We're moving into Era 2. We have some food buildings. Oh, there's also a wine booster here. Yeah, this is where we're going to send our settler. I'm not 100% sure where we're going to settle him just yet. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab meritocratic promotion. I can't speak. We're going to need a food building. This food building is actually pretty good, plus 15 food and extra food per pop working. We have glass steel, so we can definitely grab that soon. Both of these buildings are really good for us because we're a production-based faction. And we really like the trees. So I'm not sure where we're going to go after this just yet. The happiness buildings are also pretty useful. Okay, so that being the case, let's move down here, see if we can't get I got a shield made out of adamantium. So if we happen to find some adamantium, that would be good. Let's see if we can't parlay with these guys if we haven't already. This is a 3-faction region with Ursas. Ursas are actually really good for us. Probably one that we would want to grab as a unit. They're a large, tanky infantry unit, and they also provide some good production benefits for building. What else can we do here? Little bit worried about our army being so far south with the major threat being to the north, but we are pretty quick. Now's a good time to go ahead and update our build. Since we have extreme range, it makes a lot of sense to use the bow over the normal crossbow and shield, because we will be able to take things down before they get to us. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't also have some tier 2 armor on. Let's see what that costs. 204. I'll pay that, no problem. And then upgrade him to tier 2 gear, and also to a bow. We also have the option of the wand or the crossbow with the shield. I don't mind using the crossbow and the shield with him because he's a little tankier than a typical unit, and I can use him as a frontline unit. So maybe we do go with the shield. He still has pretty high attack, but his defense is much better, and his damage is already better than the typical ranger unit. The other thing we can consider doing is grabbing one or both of these movement trinkets, but I'm going to stick without trinkets for now. Try to preserve a little bit of our cash, because that gets real expensive, especially for 6 units that we're going to need to give it to. The one thing I am probably going to consider doing, though, this does give us 1 extra tile of vision, and I only need it on 1 unit in order to get that benefit. That's 32. I think that's worthwhile, just to get the extra vision. You can see we have a nice little stack of pearls there. 9 pearls. Might have to go grab that. We're 3 turns away from getting this, so we don't want to get too far away. And 5 turns away from getting that. Alright, we need to consider rearranging our population pips. Now that our dust is under control, we can move stuff around. I want to keep everybody on production for this. But over here, we don't necessarily need this over here. Can I get this done a little quicker? I guess it really doesn't need to be done quicker, does it? So let's put everybody over here. What we really need, I guess we could try moving a couple of units to science. That's not gonna help. So we'll just leave them all over here on food for now. Try to continue to grow our food. Get more population pips. Alright, this feels pretty good. Alright. Winter is coming again. So let's go ahead and talk to these guys first. Sign a peace treaty within 10 turns. I'm not sure that that's going to be possible. But it may be worth attempting. So in order to sign a peace treaty, we would have to research this. I'm not sure that we're going to have time to do that. So let's say we research this. We have 2 players we could try and make peace with. They are indifferent, and they are mildly jealous. Common Frontier makes it less likely that we'll get peace with them, but these guys we could complement. Now this says effect lasts for 10 turns with the optimal effect at the midterm. So in 5 turns, this would give us a discount to any kind of a peace treaty with them. Now, if we switch this up, what if we... This would be done in exactly 5 turns. So this may be the right way to do this. 5 turns here, we go ahead and we make a complement. Let's go ahead and go back here. Let's go ahead and complement these guys. And then in 5 turns, we'll get the peace treaty, and we'll try and form peace. That would be very beneficial because this is a 2-3 tile. If we can get these pacified before we settle or shortly after we settle, that's going to make our lives a lot easier in that region. Unfortunately for us, we are going to have to fight these guys that have already spawned. But this gives us a good plan. And we'll just have to delay our quest for a few turns. This guy will be built in 1 turn. And over here, we're not quite ready for burrows, but we could build the altar. I kind of like having the altar over in this city because this city has the potential to grow a lot larger. And if I put that tile here, we'll level it up a little faster than if I put it in other places. I could also put it there. Yeah, let's put it there. That will also level up. So these 3 tiles will level up when you finish the triangle. The ones on the ends will not be leveled up, which includes our city center, which is unfortunate, but let's go ahead and put that down. And that one can actually be built a little bit quicker than the other one. In fact, we don't even need to finish this Minotaur. He's not doing us any good until we get meritocratic promotion. So let's just move him to the back of the queue for now. We can always move him up later if we change our mind on that. Okay. Zoom in back out here, and we know we want to queue up movement over here. We'll finish scouting this tile and then maybe head back over this way. See if this pans out the way that I want it to. Run away! Okay. We got out of their territory in time. In the next Empire plan, don't put any influence in the military and set the population to population ministry, economy and population ministry to its level 1 minimum. We can do that. Who are these guys? Okay. Let's go grab. The Ardent Mages were the first to grab 30 of a luxury resource. That is unfortunate because we were really close to being able to do that. Popping that booster, I think, killed our chances of that, which maybe was unwise. Really beneficial. Especially at negotiating a peace treaty. It would have been very beneficial for that. But we'll see. These guys are in last place right now. We're not far behind them, so maybe it does make sense to team up with them. We're doing really good on collecting pearls this game. Okay, another legendary deed has been taken by somebody. This region actually looks reasonable. Titanium deposit, quite a few anomalies, 2 of them right here, one with a approval buff. That would be good. Alright, let's go ahead and get this guy out. And we have a couple turns to get him down here. We could boost his movement speed potentially. A tier 2 trinket. What does that look like? 57 dust. 1, 2. It would shave a turn off of this settle if we settle like right here or here. But if we want to settle there, I'm not sure if it does. What do we need our dust for? We need our dust to retrofit our cavalry units. I think we're going to pass on the retrofit. We're just going to walk him over here. We'll be a couple turns later than I wanted to be, but I think that's fine. And the museum has been built right on turn 42, so if we had tried to do it, it might have been close We might not have gotten it. They might have stole it right out from under our nose. Okay, so they wanted us to do this. And we need to save up influence for a peace treaty, so I'm down with that. And I think we're going to play up to the peace treaty, just to see if my little plan worked out. Now that the settler is done over here, we're really close to being able to get construction of that. Getting one a turn. So what we really need to do is I have nothing I can build. This is unfortunate. In 2 turns I can build another borough. But until then, what do I do? I can grow population or I can grab some more influence. I think growing population is the way to go because that gives me something to build. In the interim, perhaps we're already building the altar somewhere else. I guess we'll just build a ranger for 2 turns and just have an extra defensive unit here. That's not the worst thing ever. If we do end up getting a hero, of course there would be an enemy unit right where we want to walk to. Not anything I can really do about that at the moment. And you are stuck over here for a turn, so let's get into the next turn. Okay, we now have the altar, and we have a lot of pearls to spend, so let's get this guy up this direction. Okay, he moved back the other way. So we should be good now. Even if he does attack us, as long as we get to the tile we want to get to, we should be fine. So we can settle here and have 8 dust, 17 science, 3 industry, or here. Yeah, this is definitely the better of the 2 settles. So that is our location. Quest is completed. So these are both pacified now. If we do end up settling this region, that'll be good. And at the moment there's no enemy units in it, so we don't have to worry about new ones spawning. Alright, our dust is back in the negative, unfortunately, but it won't be for long. I think once we grab this territory we'll be fine. Let's get over here. And go ahead and move these guys to, let's see, which direction do we want to go? Maybe up this way? Let's just uncover some more territory here and figure out whether this region's going to be a priority settle, because it is the next territory that these guys are possibly going to take. Alright, so always before this you want to make sure that you've set your empire plan if it is that turn, and then also pop any boosters that you need to pop. So we can go ahead and activate this booster again. That should stack that on top. And then when we settle this city, we'll be in a good place. Holy moly, look at all the enemy units down there. That is kind of terrifying. Mill Foundry. Lots and lots of stuff that needs to get built here. We're gonna have to move this to food almost indefinitely. And we are now one turn away from attempting this peace treaty. Hopefully we have something we can offer them. Popping that booster might not have been the best decision. I do have a large stockpile of titanium though. Alright, we'll go ahead and finish working on that. And for whatever reason, we still don't have... I thought this said two turns ago. Not sure what's going on with that. So I guess we'll build another ranger. Okay, we could also sell our rangers, maybe. So we've got enough movement to get up here. Let's go ahead and run in here, snag some pearls. Ooh, look at that. And another titanium and another... Yeah, that's a good region too. Alright, can we search this? Okay, well, we have the interesting quest. Loot for Lust is a great quest. It allows you to get a bunch of resources relatively quickly. We might be able to do some of this. I can increase the XP per turn of my units in his army. Since he's about to have a 6-stack, that might be worthwhile. Leveling up your units is not a bad thing to do. We won't be able to add those for another 4 turns. Alright. Whoops. I would like to offer you peace. He's not completely opposed to it, so let's see if we can't... Titanium will do it. Okay, titanium it is. How much of this titanium can we keep? So let's go with that. And that will not only give us peace with this guy, but will also complete a quest. And I'm going to go ahead and end the turn just to make sure that that does indeed happen, which will then pacify all the villages in this region, which will give us 3 population pips to help get this thing off the ground. Let's see if that does work. Well, quest complete, 25 titanium. We got back what we used, essentially. Alright, a new faction is ready to assimilate. That's fine. There's another 3. Okay, so we're in a really good spot here. I'm going to go ahead and end the video now, but I want to talk a little bit about where my head's at going into the next video. And hopefully I'll remember this come next video. So these guys have expanded this direction and this direction. It is imperative that we grab this tile next. So I'm going to probably even rush a settler out in the next turn, snag this territory. We'll be starting a war with the Ardent Mages very soon, which means we need to start mobilizing our military a little bit. This is a really rich... I got it. 1, 2, 3... Are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3 tiles with approval bonuses. That's going to allow this city to get incredibly large without losing a bunch of approval. The resources here, the 3 camps. Okay, so this is good. This is our focus next game. We're going to grab this tile. The second thing that I want to focus on doing, we're about to enter the second winter here. Is there any of these prayers that we want? Plus 30% on titanium and glass steel cost. Minus on those. Reduced damage for support units, increased damage for flying units. Yeah, none of these really bother me. This is the building that I want to focus on using our pearls to get up in all of our cities. So what this does is it adds an extra population pip for each pacified village. And this is a really effective building in cities where you have 3 villages, or in regions where you have 3 villages. We have a bunch of regions with 2 or 3 villages, so this becomes a fairly efficient building in those regions. The other thing that it is really beneficial for is once you start getting the other city improvements and heroes that increase your population gathering per pip, then this becomes more effective as well, because each individual pip gives you more resources. So that's where our focus is going to be next game. We want to get into the winter and then get this building built and start using all the pearls that we've collected. I don't know how I feel about where we're at. Seeing that we've now fallen all the way to last place doesn't make me feel great, but that's usually the case when you're playing at higher difficulties until about mid to late game. We're still in the relatively early game. Turn 60 to 80 is about mid-game for most of these games. I have seen games end as early as like 120, 110, but that's pretty rare. It kind of takes a runaway for that to happen. The other thing that we can do with this territory is maybe get out into the water. It doesn't look like anybody's done that yet, so that's another thing. We will need to get down here and clear out a bunch of these armies, which sucks, but we should have the military force to do that soon. And that's where we're going to end it. So, hope you guys are enjoying this series. I know I've made several boneheaded mistakes today. Feel free to point those out. I will acknowledge them in the comments and try to do better next game. If you have any other thoughts or ideas, maybe you saw something to play differently when we came across that potential quest for the peace treaty, but I think that worked out really, really well. I don't know that I could have played that any better. Switching up the timing of your construction queues and your research queues to meet your needs in the moment is a really hard thing to do. It's one of the higher skills that you learn when you play this game, and so that was an example of that. Trying to get the most out of every moment in the game. You know, when we're queued up with a military unit that we're not going to need for a while, get some of that construction done and then move it to the back of the queue till we actually need it, so we're not eating up valuable resources, because they do cost upkeep. So that was another example of that. So that's the kind of stuff that I want to bring to you guys with my videos, is just some tactical play, give you some new ideas of how you might play differently, and also get feedback from you so that I can learn as well. Until next time, this has been The Nose Plays. You guys have a great day.